Hello, hello, welcome. Alrighty, let's get started. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Last night was really magical for me. I am so excited to be here and get to do this again. I wanted to just have a few moments to hold some space. If anyone has any thoughts, comments, anything that they would like to share, anything from last night.
I'd like to share something real quick, if it's okay.
Absolutely.
Um, I didn't really get images too much, but what I did get was three particular colors. I got magenta, violet, and almost like a cobalt blue.
Mm.
And those three stuck out to me the most. Um, I did get some images today, not anything last night though. And I was in it looked to be like a temple that was made out of like maybe terracotta. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Mm.
Um, and I was helping women and children get out through underground tunnels.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Do
I
those,
was like, okay.
do those colors mean anything to you?
Um, no, to be honest with you, I'm a very I kind of do a lot of black and white and grays. I'm only now starting to incorporate more color. Um, and I don't know, but those three colors specifically stood out the most. Mhm.
Maybe write them down for future business ventures.
I never thought about that. You might be onto something there. I definitely will. Also, thank you for letting me share.
Yes, of course. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Actually have a question, Gigi.
Yes.
Um, so I had kind of an interesting experience yesterday, and I wrote about it afterwards just because I wasn't sure what it meant. It was so when I was in like, you know, with my eyes closed and everything, I went into the temple, I saw it, everything was fine. And then a person from my past kind of barged in. Like, I mean, she kind of walked, she didn't even walk in. She came completely into my, uh, well, let's call it the third eye space, if you know what I mean. And it was dark. Like she wasn't trying to be mean. It was we had this break in our friendship last year. And what I wrote was that she it was as if she kind of needed to tell me that she was sorry, but that and that we had had these past lives together. Uh, doesn't matter all the details, but bottom line was that because she didn't ever feel like she lived up to her beliefs, and I guess that I did. And so she wanted to keep me small. And so I feel like this was her. So I guess I'm asking you I mean, it felt, I say the word barged in because it wasn't I even wrote this down. I was kind of like, well, I let her come in because I felt like she consciously needed to do that. And so I consciously created the space for her. So anyway, my question was, I never was able to like go back into the temple. It was like that dominated the experience. And so I wasn't sure what to think of it. What toward the end, the relic, I did get that definitely my relic was like a crystal, but it kept changing. It wasn't one thing, it kept changing in my hands. So I guess those two things kind of I wrote them down as like it felt very I don't know. Um confusing is a good word.
Hmm. A couple things came to mind while you were sharing. One, do you want to reconcile with this friend?
I don't know. Not in the way that it was. I mean, yeah, it was very much a um not even. Do you know what I mean? She was like a long, old friend. And I guess I feel like she doesn't see me. And so as I was purging all of this stuff over the last few months, I was purging it because I felt that I purging our relationship because I felt that it was in her better interest to keep me small. I'm not saying I mean like the question is the answer is I don't know.
The reason I ask is because you said you let her in because she needed you. And my follow-up question to that is, she needed you, but did you need her? Did you
Mm,
feel like you needed that energetic exchange?
mm-mm. No, in fact, that was what was kind of weird. I felt like it was really about her. Like she came in.
Yeah. So much of this work that we do on this path, I'm not surprised this came up because you think about things like the witch wound or even, the broken relationships among feminine counterparts. It's so prevalent, from backstabbing to talking behind people's back, etc., etc. So I'm not surprised that this came up last night for you. The other thing you mentioned was your crystal was shape shifting. You said it in different words, but that's such a common theme right now with
Yeah.
Esther talking about it last night and Emma chatting about it. So, this is right with the collective theme here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like when I wrote all this down, it felt as if, well, what was really cool, I wanted to say this one thing. One thing that was super cool was when you started and I laid down and I have my shades closed right now, but the sun is right where it is now, right? And it was just beaming in and the sun was setting as the whole process happened. And I wrote that down because I felt like it was really important for me to like be in the sun as it was setting. And anyway, I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, sun codes. One of the things that
Mhm.
I love to do in the morning is I'll take my lemon water that I like to start my day out with, and I'll put it in the sun to let it charge and absorb the codes. That like first morning light sun or that like sunset sun is so potent. So I'll drink it and infuse those codes, and it really feels like you were getting that code. And I'm also getting like that sense of Lumerian light codes as well coming through for you right now. So, oh, that's so cool. I love that. Definitely, I sent you guys the replay. So if you didn't get it or you have any problems opening it, just let me know and I'll send you the direct link. But you can go through it and you can go back into the temple and try that experience again. One thing I will say is maybe just energetically reconnect and then disconnect. We're going to do cord cutting tonight. So you may see this friend come up again where we may cut those cords tonight. So just let whatever happens happens. And if it doesn't happen tonight, just energetically after this, cut cords, say thank you for the time served. I feel that this relationship is complete. I really feel like it will come up for you tonight. We'll be in the records, so you'll be able to kind of seal things up. And I think you'll get a lot of closure there. I love that. Emma said her crystal was changing shapes as well too. So much shape shifting. This is so cool. And my relic was a silver wand in new forms with ways to use it. That's so cool. I love that. That's so powerful. Ooh, anyone else like to share? All right. Let's get started. Welcome to night 2. Night 2 is going to be all about alchemizing our wounds into power. We're going to do some real fun stuff. We're going to work with serpent energy tonight. I'm really looking forward to this all. This is all about the parts of you that were labeled too much or, not enough. I want this night to really remind you that these are the parts of you that are actually your greatest gifts. What if I told you that these traits you were told to suppress, your sensitivity, your intuition, your empathy, were actually your superhero powers? Because that's what they are. These parts of us that were silenced and shamed, and, we were told to kind of keep in the closet. These are the gifts that I want you to reclaim tonight in your fullest power as the priestess that you are. We all got these wounds in many different ways. If you're here, I can tell you that you're an old soul. This path is not for the weak. And I don't mean that because it's filled with pain and suffering or anything like that. Yes, there's lessons and challenges, I like to call them. But at the end of every challenge comes that wisdom. And that's how we got here as priestesses, with that wisdom that we carry. Some of these wounds we talked about last night, the witch wound, the fear of being seen, being heard, standing in our truth. That's why we did that throat chakra activation, because that's so common and prevalent in the divine feminine today. So we have that. We have persecution wounds. I know some of the past lives that I've dove into, from being burned at the stake to having my head chopped off in one of those pillories. And, I have died in traumatic ways, but knowledge is power. And when you know that, I'm telling you, it shifts something so fast. I used to have fears of people coming behind and grabbing my neck or touching my neck. And that stemmed from that life where I was persecuted and then murdered for it. So, really acknowledging that and healing that, I don't have those same fears anymore, but I have all the wisdom that came with those obstacles. So we're going to touch into that, and the separation wound and feeling disconnected from our divine essence. Just that reminder that these wounds aren't our weakness, but this is our initiation. So what are we here to heal? We're here to heal the fear of being seen, heard, in your full power. The belief that your gifts are too much or unsafe. Any energetic blocks that are keeping you from stepping into your fullest potential, stepping forward into your power. We're going to do an energy clearing, a cord cutting, a serpent activation. We're going to activate some somatic healing into your body, and then finish up with a little subconscious reprogramming. So I'm going to test the music. All right, can you hear both me and the music? Is one louder than the other? All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and settle in. And I'm gonna have you just get cozy, comfy. You want to sit, lay down, however you want to do this. We're gonna start the energy work, the activation. ahead and close your eyes. Start to connect to your breath, your energy, your life force. Breathing in through your nose, filling your belly, expanding your ribs. On the next inhale in, I want you to hold this at the top. Taking in just a little bit more air. Exhaling through your mouth, releasing with a loud, audible sigh. Again, breathe in deeply, slowly, slowly, holding at the top, taking in just a little bit more air, and exhaling out loud, forcibly, audibly, releasing anything that no longer serves you tonight. Feel yourself becoming lighter with every breath. We call upon the luminous line of priestesses come before us tonight. The oracles, the healers, the keepers of the sacred mysteries. We summon the divine goddesses, Isis, Sekhmet, Hathor, Mary Magdalene. We invite the priestesses who walk this earth now, the ones who have yet to awaken, and those who will rise in the generations to come. We call in our ancestors, our spirit guides, and our loved ones beyond the veil. May they gather around us now, weaving a golden circle of protection and power. Reminding you are never alone. We are held by the wisdom of every age. Take a big deep breath in as you breathe in this truth, feeling their presence. Feel the lineage flowing through you. You're a part of this sacred web. And now we journey deeper. Visualize a golden temple rising before you. A sanctuary of opulence, woven into the fabric of time. Hieroglyphs shimmering upon its walls, pulsating with its own ancient frequency. You notice golden serpents coiled around the temple pillars, their emerald eyes flickering with deep wisdom. The air is perfumed with this intoxicating scent of roses, Each petal embedded with the codes of purification and divine love. You step further inside, noticing that the ceiling is adorned with constellations, moving in sacred harmony. Beneath your feet, the floor is woven with liquid gold. At the center of the temple awaiting you is this Sumerian quartz crystal bed. The moment your eyes meet its luminescence, a deep knowing floods your being. You've been here before. With reverence, you approach and gently lower yourself onto the prismatic, crystalline surface. As you sink into its embrace, the quartz hums beneath you, vibrating as it recognizes your soul's unique frequency. A soft electric current begins to course through your spine, beginning to awaken dormant codes within. The circle of golden serpents materializes around you, their bodies moving in a hypnotic dance. Your eyes peer into your soul, not to judge, but to remind you, you are the serpent. You always have been. Feel the crystal bed beneath you shift, attuning to your energy. Allowing it to rebalance your cellular DNA, healing you from the inside out. A deep ancient voice begins to whisper, a voice not of words, but of knowing. The golden serpents coil gently around your limbs, not to receive, to absorb the wounds that have been woven through your lineage. Just allow the serpents to do their work as they heal you for a few moments. You might feel some tingling or sensations. This is all normal. Now I want you to visualize the cords of your past life traumas, any connections that need to be released in the present moment. Allow anything that no longer serves you to come up to be severed tonight. Allow them to show themselves to you one by one. They might appear before you as strands of dense, tangled energy, thick iron chains, maybe even fine spider silk. However they present themselves to you, just acknowledge them. These are the imprints of pain, suffering, and trauma that you've carried throughout lifetime. The echoes of betrayals, burdens, heartaches, and oaths that no longer serve you. Visualize a great obsidian blade hovering above you. This is the sword of liberation, forged in the fires of truth. As we call upon it, repeat either in your head or aloud after me. By the fires of transformation, I sever the cords of suffering. By the breath of the serpent, I reclaim my power. By the waters of remembrance, I wash away all past oaths, bindings, and illusions. By the will of my soul, I stand sovereign, whole, and free. Allow the blade to wield its magic. One by one, the cords dissolve into light, unraveling from your field, evaporating into nothingness. Breath deepens. The final golden serpent slithers up, pressing its warm body to your heart. It's whispering something, not in words, but in sensation, a remembrance, a power. Now it is time to awaken. With your body resting upon the crystal bed, allow the serpent of Kundalini to rise from the base of your spine at your root chakra. Feel the warmth, the fire begin to rise. A slow ember igniting as you feel the warmth at your root catch fire. Continue to breathe deeply. Feel it coil at your root, awakening your primal power. Another deep breath in as you feel the fire ignite deeper within you. Feel it slither to your sacral chakra, unlocking your power and creative life source. With every inhale, the fire burns brighter. The serpent moves higher. Feel it begin to spiral through your solar plexus, allowing it to dissolve any fear. Another big, deep breath in. Feeling it glide to your heart, burning away past wounds, making space for divine love. Another big, deep breath in. Feel it surge through your throat, clearing all suppression of your truth. Another big, deep breath in. Feeling it pierce your third eye, igniting your inner vision. You might begin to feel it pulsate right at the center of your eyebrows. Another big, deep breath in. Feel it in your crown as this golden light, fully activated, fully embodied, your body completely electrified. Now repeat after me, either in your head or aloud. I awaken the primal current within me. I shed all illusions, stepping into my full radiance. I am the eternal dance of transformation and transmutation. The golden serpents encircle you one last time. Your body is weaving the final imprint of this activation. The codes of your body as the floors and ceilings begin to illuminate, reminding you they are not separate from you, they are you. A final pulse of energy surges through your spine. A burst of heat, light, and remembrance. You are sovereign. You are infinite. You are the serpent reborn. Allow your body to rise slowly and gracefully, realizing that your body's ability to move like water, like silk, is now like the coils of a serpent. Take your hands, letting go of what no longer serves you. Roll your shoulders, releasing tension from past burdens. Lay your spine in circles, right to left and left to right, allowing the flow of your new energy to take form. Allow your body to move freely and instinctually, shedding your skin as this is your rebirth. However your body is called to move, flow with. Allow your energetic skin to begin to shed layer by layer as anything that no longer serves you falls to the floor. You have shed the old skin. You have remembered the ancient wisdom. You are the living embodiment of power. It is done. So it is. And so it be. The golden temple begins to dissolve into light, not vanishing, but integrating into your body. The hieroglyphs are now etched into your soul. The scent of roses lingers on your skin. You walk forward as the embodiment of ancient wisdom. You speak with the voice of your highest self. You radiate the power of the serpent, infinite and sovereign. The temple is no longer a place you visit. It lives within you. Start to bring your attention back to your breath. Acknowledging the cool air as you inhale through your nostrils, feeling your belly expand. Acknowledging the peace you feel as you exhale, releasing any remnants. Start to acknowledge the object beneath you. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes, knowing you have returned, but you are not the same. Welcome back. How are you guys doing? I'm just seeing your messages now. Were you guys able to hear it okay?
Yes. In the end, it got a little bit louder.
Okay, perfect. If I need to record that for you guys to listen to again, I definitely will. Anyone want to share their experience?
Um, I really loved the ending. It was it kind of shifted my perspective of, that the temple is within me. And I just yeah, it kind of shifted some things just perspective wise. So I liked that.
Good, I'm glad. Everything is within us. We have all the power that we need to manipulate and bend time and really create the reality of our desires. I'm glad that hit home for you.
I'll share.
Go ahead.
So this was a powerful one for me because the energy of snakes, I'm fascinated by them. I think they're beautiful, yet I also think there's a bit of misunderstanding about them still on my end. And for one, the snakes really liked, they were moving around me and then I felt them like want to kiss my belly, which was like really sweet. And then I had a dream like months ago about a snake that I was in a canoe and I didn't know who I was with, but they pushed me into the water and this snake came and surrounded me and it was moving all around my body and I was just kind of like breathing calmly. And then it bit my right hand and I woke up from the dream and it didn't feel like a fearful dream. It just felt like an injection of like healing because I was going through a lot of healing at that time in my life. Um, and that for some reason that came back in this visual. The snakes were like, yeah, that was like kind of in a way a messenger from us that you're going through massive healing in the next year of your life. Um, I didn't understand what it was, but at the time I had a year away from alcohol, everything, trying to get my body healthy to bring a baby to this world. And um, yeah, it was interesting to experience that again and also hear that message of like, that was a messenger from our realm, like telling you that like you're on the right path and like that was an injection of healing and like to feel them like almost take away. I felt a lot of tingling in that moment too when they were swirling around and it didn't feel scary. It felt just really peaceful. I almost like let out a relief sigh because of how good it felt. So that was my experience.
I love that. That's a real full circle moment for you. I think as like a collective, snakes are so misunderstood. Even if you think of the word snake, it can be used in such a negative connotation, but snakes are really regenerative and they're about rebirth and really letting go and releasing things that no longer serve us. So I love that. That's so powerful. I love that they kiss your belly too. What a blessing.
Yeah, of
Thank you for sharing.
course.
Anyone else?
I
I
would love.
wouldn't mind.
Oh,
Oh, you can go ahead.
sure. You can go after me. How about that? Okay. Oh my God. So many thoughts in my brain. Um, the thing that I wanted to start off by saying is right before we jumped into the healing, you said you said how this was an initiation, and I literally this morning in my like oracle card spread, I kind of did like a reading about this whole sort of priestess awakening for me and kind of for the collective. And I got two initiation cards, one for my Isis oracle and another for my light workers. And it was the initiation through fire. I was like, of course, lots of fire energy for me happening. But in this temple, oh, it was so beautiful in there. I could feel my energy almost like merging with that Lemurian quartz like crystal. It was like I melted into it a little bit. I felt so comfortable and so, yeah, it was so welcoming and it felt very much like home. And oh, so my heating's going on. But it was super interesting. I could feel this like swirling energy right at the base of my spine as soon as it started. And it was like almost as if, you know how like DNA has that spiraling,
The helix.
helix shape. Thank you.
Yeah.
I could sense that that's what it was, like kind of like going up and around my spine, and then like all the snakes were like almost like wrapping themselves around my body, like where I needed cords to be cut. And it was super interesting. I could see the cords for like the first time, like in my connected to my body and then around my energy field. But I have had chronic pain since I was about 14 years old, and it stemmed from my left hip, and I could like feel like the snakes like squeezing and like leeching it all out. And my hip feels so much different now, like lighter, less achy. I feel a little bit more like in alignment and everything. And I was actually quite shocked because it felt a little bit achy and painful like as it was happening, but now I'm just like, oh my God, I love it. I feel great. Um, oh, there's another thing that I want to share. What is it? Yeah, again, love with the shedding of the skin as well. I have skin condition too, so it's all very like in with the themes. But I could sort of like see like layers of my energetic field sort of peeling away. And at one point, the snake like went right up at my chest and like looked me at the face in the face, did like a big hiss, looked like a cobra of some sorts, and then just like wiggled itself out of its old skin and like invited me to do the same. So I did like a little shake and everything. And yeah, so super beautiful. I'm really interested to see in the next couple of days how my hip does, because like I've been dealing with that for a little while. So crossing fingers.
I love that. That is so cool. So cool. Definitely work with the serpents more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely do this meditation again, see what you get out of it, and definitely keep us updated on that hip.
I
This work is
will.
so powerful. And it
I
just
know.
shows you that we really can control even things like our health that we think are so much out of our control. You know, everything starts as energy, and that's what leads to dis-ease when things get out of balance. They become disharmonious. And
Mhm.
from dis-ease leads to disease. So when we get it at an energy point, you know, that's where real healing occurs. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah. Esther?
Yeah, so like a little bit of a trigger warning before I talk about mine, stuff about my molestation and sexual assault that I've experienced came up for me. Um, I saw Medusa and she was like, when you are violated in that way, you have a right to call your power back times three. You have a right to become more powerful than those that tried to steal from you in ways that they weren't really allowed to, but they tried to anyways. And they were like, you have a right to all of that back and then some. Like, and um it was really powerful for me because I went through like a butchered Kundalini awakening back in September that led to me having a manic psychotic episode that led me to being in the hospital where I faced a lot of my traumas like head on. And I feel like there's this sort of need I've had for some sort of like karmic vengeance. And they were like, you can rest. You have delivered them all to hell. Like, you have delivered them all to hell. And there's a part of me that wants to, like, be like the person that's like, someone did you wrong, come to me, I'll fucking curse them. Like, like, just, like, wanting to get justice for people who, like, because that need justice from like the shit that has happened to us, especially as like female bodied people, but not just female bodied people. It happened to my dad, like by a Catholic priest. Like this shit is everywhere. And I don't know, there was a lot of themes about that. And coming out of it, I feel like this grief. It's weird because yesterday when I did the meditation, I felt this fiery, like, deadliness that was also, like, playful. Like, there's this glint in my eye that's like, I could kill you or I could have fun with you, kind of like a cat. Um, Whereas today it's like I came upon, like, why I have this deadliness because people have tried to take from me in ways that have brought it out. And so it's like, what do I do with it? And at the end of the initiation, I actually imagined myself killing every single man that ever raped me. I like imagined myself just slitting all of their throats and being like, bitch, bye. You're gone. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's too graphic or too much but that was my experience and I feel like it was powerful and I feel like a lot of my initiations in life have been through like the trauma that I've experienced. Um like but it's I don't know. I'm losing my words now, so I'm going to shut up.
Thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable. It feels like almost like a metaphor, and not just killing these people that did you wrong, but also killing those versions of yourself that were in those situations and really stepping into your power and preventing those situations from happening again, and owning your power, knowing that you have the power of Medusa behind you. So I hope that as heavy as this felt to clear, you got a little bit of strength and feeling this return of your power as well.
I did, and they were like, "You don't need to worry about, like, vengeance anymore. Like, you don't need to carry that energy of, like, vengeance with you," and they, like, poured this water over where I carried, like, this need for vengeance, and that's when I started to feel the grief. That's when it was like, "Okay, some of this deadliness is, like, subsiding into this, like, mushy grieving territory. But I know I can handle that because I've been in this healing process for a while, so I know how to ride the waves of all the different parts of it.
We'll just keep taking care of you, a little extra self-love and care, especially over the next few days as this continues to integrate. Drink lots of water too. Really clear this out. Good shower or bath, even after we get
Right.
the call.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me share.
Yes, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna head over to the comments. Amy, I saw matrix like cords that were plugged into my body. That's cool. They floated away, but they were also destroyed with a sword so they wouldn't reattach. I don't remember much after that. I sort of disappeared. I love when that happens. I always feel like I disappear when they're doing like deep, deep work. And that's when my mind just goes elsewhere in order to let it all integrate. So I'm really excited to hear more over the next few days and see what comes of that. Let's see, Christy, sunken costs on the hidden hooks. Let me see. In my original temple, I have a few elegant gold pools filled with different earth elements and minerals. One has crystal tumble pebbles. And the poem that you wrote yesterday included many of the images in this journey, sunken costs on the hidden hooks of hope loss. She stays afloat, a ship on the dark cold, riding the waves of her blind faith, believing in his glory, his nobility, and his misery, aldings of love promises for many cycles, in a purgatory he kept her baited, over time and times collapsing, as she yearned for his vows fulfilling, and for all his leverage, she kept sinking deeper into isolation. And while many came and went, the moons watched over, as she suffered in her peaks and lows of all the forgotten maybes of tomorrow. And the elementals loved her, bringing her notes of sung magic, and the old gods prayed over her heart. And for every tear, a pearl of power she earned, and she was given. She sewed them each with golden thread into a weave of a spell, into a shielded vest for her love's armor. And slowly, with every stitch, she became well again. Strong in love's force, she summoned the moon and turned the tides and burned down the bridges of all his illusions and lies. And from hot ashes scalding, folding into the sea as they cooled, they formed her sword of sorcery. Calling back every single now with tempered strength, she rises the sea, conjures the storms, the thunder gods and lightning forms, and on the swells of the waves of her making, all that was taken from her is returned, and all harm done upon her is forsaken. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. How aligned. That's very beautiful. Okay, guys, we're almost at time. I'm just gonna go through a few more things. I will send you these questions again tonight. I just want you to kind of know how to do the subconscious reprogramming portion. So I do want to go over that. If you have to hop off the call, I totally understand and want to respect your time as well. You could always watch the replay. So we're going to do a little memory recoding for visibility and sovereignty for homework tonight. Why this basically works is because your brain is not fixed. It's constantly rewiring itself based on every experience and interaction that you have as you go about your day-to-day life. Your subconscious mind stores your limiting beliefs, it stores your dreams, it stores your trauma, it stores all this past life wounds that we've been working on healing here tonight. So what we're going to do here is do a little bit of automatic writing by recalling those thoughts, replacing them, as well as any patterns that come up. And then the goal is to permanently shift the identity. So we start with identifying the root belief of that memory that holds that emotion. In this case, we'll use fear. We're going to bring it to our conscious awareness, activating these pathways that are stored on your neural pathways. And then we're going to introduce a contradictory experience that proves that this belief is false. After that, we're going to reinforce it in our body so it becomes automatic. So the questions that I'll send you tonight for you to go through are, what is my earliest memory of feeling unsafe, rejected, or punished for being seen, heard, or standing in my power? Now, this could be from your childhood, a past life, or an inherited ancestral fear. Whatever comes up on the page, just put that pen to paper, just like your journaling questions and the integration from last night, and just let it come out and flow through. And then I want you to ask yourself, what belief was created from this experience? For example, here I wrote, it's too dangerous to be seen. Speaking my truth leads to rejection. If I shine, I will be hurt. Whatever comes up, just acknowledge it without any judgment. Allow it to flow through. And then what you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself, what real evidence do I have that contradicts this belief? Have I ever spoken up and been received with love? Even if it's just one time, right? You don't have to think of a bunch of examples. I just want you to think of one time that the opposite occurred in your life, or maybe it happened somebody close to you. And then ask yourself, have I ever been celebrated for my gifts? Have I ever led with confidence and felt empowered? And list as many examples as you can on that paper. Again, just letting whatever comes up flow through. And then next question, if I fully trusted that it is safe to be seen, what would change in my life today? How would I move? How would I speak? How would I show up differently? What opportunities would I allow myself to receive? And lastly, what new belief do I choose to reprogram into my subconscious? For example, I am safe to be seen. My voice is powerful. I am fully supported in my truth. I want you to write it down. I want you to feel it in your body. Feeling it in your body is a key part of this process. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. And when we feel it on a cellular level, things shift and happen so much faster. Your other homework here is to do a little shadow alchemy ritual. This is just your classic mirror work. I mentioned in the Telegram today about putting on something that makes you feel good. Part of the priestess path is really embodying that energy of I feel good in spite of what's going on around me. So classic mirror work, I want you to face and embrace the parts of yourself that have been suppressed, feared, or shame, and really transmute them into power. Take your written work as to what you just did and use that in the mirror. Use those as your affirmations. A fun little tip is if you use your name and that affirmation, instead of saying I am, your subconscious actually recognizes it as a dissociation from yourself, but acknowledging it connected to your name. So for example, if I were to want to say I stand in my power, instead I would say Gigi stands in her power, because I'm now disconnecting that neural pathway that's giving me any sort of radar that says that's not true or negates it, or when those limiting beliefs want to pop up. It's a real quick disconnection. So over the next day, weekend, I really just want you to focus on looking yourself in the eyes in the mirror while you're washing your hands, brushing your teeth. Pour a little bit of self-love into yourself. Really activate these new beliefs, speak these truths, visualize yourself embodying it in every area of your life. Throw in a giggle, throw in a smile as you imagine your perfect life unfolding in front of you. The more you reinforce it, the more your subconscious gets on board with it. You were never meant to stay hidden. Your soul came here to be seen, heard, and fully expressed. I hope you guys had a beautiful night. I had so much fun leading you. I'm so excited for tomorrow. If you guys have any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, you can drop them in the chat or send me a DM. Thank you so, so much. Good night. Good night.